Hello and welcome to another video update from the farm. It's 15th November 2025. Time is about 12. Weather not too hot, must be around 22-25 degrees Celsius. As far as rains is concerned, I think the monsoon season is almost over here, except for very few drizzles like once a week. Practically there has not been much rain at all. Things are not yet appearing dry. I think we're still able to manage with the water that we have from the borewell. I wish it rains a little bit more. Now we are getting into the winter season very soon, so I don't think it will be scorchy hot. Things seems to be still green, like by looks of it. And we will need to know how much water we can use from our borewell. Whether there's a need for another borewell, we need to take a call. But for now, things appears stable and they're going on as expected. So let's start with an update on the solar fencing. So like you must have seen in the previous video, we have done this weed mat all over the perimeter wherever there is this solar fencing, and as expected it is working well. There has not been any weed growth whatsoever in the place where we have this weed mat. I was still having a mild doubt whether the thickness is sufficient, but it appears it's very good. There's a lot of weed everywhere, but just below the solar fencing, as expected, there is no weed at all. So as you might see here, these things were all very clean when we did the weed mat installation. But now, as you see, there's a lot of weeds in the sides of where there is no weed mat, but wherever there's this mat, it's pretty clean. So I think it's working as intended. That's good news. At these poles where we had to cut the weed mat, we've just done a bit of stitching with some GI wire. I'm still not 100% sure whether this is perfect, because this could still let reptiles like snakes into this weed mat, and I'm not sure how safe it is. But at least the main purpose is solved. There are no weeds. We need to see the longevity of this and see whether there are more weeds sprouting out of these weed mats from the bottom. But for now, I think it looks okay. Next up, as I mentioned to you, the plan was to plant 2 rows. One row marigold closer to the fence, another row of chili at about 2 feet from the marigold, and the third row was really on the fence, which is Kovakai ivy guard. So that also we planted about 3 weeks ago. So here's the growth of marigold. These are 3 weeks old. This is just rain fed. There's no drip irrigation water here yet. I think there's some connection issue which we have to fix. I'll show it to you on the other side. The growth is slightly better. Most of the chili plants on this section is also dry because it was just dependent on rainwater, and this is obviously on a raised bed. We did this bunds to conserve water a few months ago. You'll probably recollect in my old video, but we're just using it as a raised bed for chili. You should be able to see those chili plants. They are all appearing very dry because there's no water here. On the other hand, I'm seeing these kind of sprouts, obviously creeper coming out of this ivy guard, in maybe about 60 to 70% of the suckers that we planted. So this one just started. Few of them look dry, but this one, as you see, the creeper has started. So we'll just try to guide them into the chain link fence. That way I'm hoping we can create a very strong barrier of this ivy guard on the fence creeper. A couple of purposes. One is that will help suppress the weed right below the the chain link fence. And the second one is the leaves of these ivy guard are also very healthy, and they're good for consumption. Ivy guard can be sold. So there's like 2 or 3 reasons why we have done this ivy guard. Marigold, the main purpose is to attract beneficial insects. That is why we have done it in the perimeter. I think in about 2 months from now they should start yielding full-fledged. I'm thinking half of the flowers will take it out and sell them if possible. The other half we're just thinking we will leave them in the in the plant to attract beneficial insects. Next update I want to share with you is on the dragon fruit plants. So here, as you see, there are these stone poles which were leftovers from the chain link fence that we did at the start of the farm. We had about 40 of them, so we have placed them at about 10 feet, and around the four sides of this pillar we have planted dragon fruits. They're coming out as expected. Ideally we will have to do this drip laterals like a square just around the four corners. We have done that on the other side. This section is still pending. I'll show that to you when we get there. Here, this section we have left it alone mainly for cow fodder. So this is all co4. We've been cutting them, so the concept is you keep cutting them and they keep growing for eternity, I'm hoping. So this section is still empty. I think once we start getting a lot of cow fodder from the Gliricidia that we planted in the field, then we can think of converting this to something else. This is coconut. They're looking healthy. We can see new leaves sprouting out, which is good news. And I'm just hoping that the root structure has gotten already established. As you know, we somehow managed to plant all of these before the main rainy season in this area. This is areca nut. It's also looking healthy. This is banana. As you see, the fresh leaves have started coming out of those banana sucks. This is papaya. This is Gliricidia. So like I mentioned to you in the previous videos, we are following the 36 by 36 per acre model. So this is an 18-feet bed. On the left hand side we will have the sub canopy layer. For instance, you see custard apple, you see papaya, and then you will see something like a lemon. On the right hand side of the bed you will see things like coconut tree, I think I made a mistake, sorry, let me take it back. So on the left hand side you will see the shrub layer, which is papaya, custard. It keeps alternating. In the middle you have this Gliricidia layer, and on the right hand side of this bed is the main canopy layer. So this is coconut, and you will find areca nut, banana, and that sequence keeps repeating all the way to the end. And the next bed is exactly the same. The only difference is, instead of the main canopy layer as coconut, which is the topmost layer, we will have something like a lemon or a pomegranate or amla. They are all on the sub canopy layer. So as you see, this is the next bed, and this is Balaji lemon. They've come out well, they're growing neatly. So far no challenges. And then the subsequent bed will be again the main crop, which is coconut. This is the farm pond. Let me try and show you inside. It appears very dry. Obviously we have still not been able to retain the water within the farm pond, although we have done the lining of black soil on top of the dug pit in all the sides. Water still percolates. So last time when I came, at least there was about 1 feet water, but now everything has gotten percolated. So the only fix to this, rather a quick fix, could be to just use a a thick polythene sheet, commercially available, and then start collecting water and then do fishing. I'm still trying to avoid doing that. I just want to make sure if there's a way to make it work. Without that, it will be amazing. So what I understand from the local people is Once things start drying up, then again they will harden when the sun shines. It dries and then it becomes hard. Also, these weeds on the sides, they will also form a thick layer, and slowly and steadily the percolation will stop. I'm hoping it will work. And then when it rains again they will cool down, and hopefully water can start retaining. So I'm going to wait for many months to see if it works. Otherwise, maybe next year, if absolutely that is not working, we will do the sheet. And as I mentioned earlier, on the four sides of this farm pond, we have planted palm trees at about 10 feet gap. They have still not germinated out. I'm told it will take at least 2 to 3 months after we plant for the germination to occur. But the germination rate will be much higher. The local people told me usually not a single plant dies. I'm just hoping that's true. And hopefully all the palm trees get sprouted out. This is badam. And this is the setup that I was telling you earlier. So there are 4 sides for dragon fruit. We have done the drip irrigation for all the 4 sides. Eventually, when they grow up, we have to start tying twines, and then maybe do something like a tire on the top or a concrete structure. We have to think through that. But for now, we just left it alone. We'll just wait until they grow. And this is there all the way till the end of the farm. And these posts have been posted right in the middle of these trenches. And we are utilizing one of the laterals for this purpose. Some bananas are like this. They are still appearing dry. I'm just hoping the sprouting will start. These were planted at about, I think, about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago. If the roots have gotten established, we could still hope that these plants could survive. Otherwise, we will have to replace them. For example, this one was also appearing dry for some time, but then you see the tip of the sucker, the green leaves have started sprouting out. I'm just hoping this thing will happen for all of them. And as you see, all the kambu and takapundu is working as intended. After we did the plantation of all the canopy layer, sub canopy layer, shrub layer, Gliricidia layer, we mixed both kambu and takapundu for carbon nitrogen mix. Kambu is pearl millet, takapundu is daincha, and we have broadcasted them. I can see a good mix of kambu and takapundu. For instance, this is kambu, pearl millet, and this is takapundu, that is daincha. So kambu provides carbon, takapundu provides nitrogen, and after they grow, we will cut them and put it back to the trench. That way we'll have a good mix of carbon nitrogen for the mulch preparation. And the other big purpose of growing them in the field is just to provide shade for the younger saplings. And since these saplings are young, they cannot tolerate a lot of heat, and having this sort of a mulch or shade, as Subhash Palekar calls it, dancing shadow, it really helps during the younger stage of these crops. And obviously the other main purpose is to suppress weeds in all these sections. Had these not been there, we would have had weeds like this all over the place, and it involves a lot of labor, cost, people, all of that to clear them. So there's multiple purposes behind doing this live mulching. I'm very happy that it's working as intended. Let's move inside here a little bit. I'll show you the largest tree. Hopefully it will grow into a largest tree in future. There you go. This is Arasamaram. Coming out very well. And this is probably an ideal location for this tree. I think the canopy extends for like almost 70-80 feet when they were fully mature, and hopefully they'll give good shade for this rock. And all the rainwater that falls here sort of goes into this pit, and hopefully it's already naturally being taken care of. I'm sorry, this is Alamaram, not Arasamaram. Alamaram is banyan tree in English. I hope you can see this. Alright. Let's move into the field. By the way, these are watermelon. I think my caretaker just had sowed them a few months ago, maybe a month ago, and I think in about another month from now they should start yielding. Probably in January we should start seeing some watermelon. They have not been very well taken care of. We never watered them. It's all just rain fed, so I'm not very hopeful of that, but just we thought we'll let him do what we want to experiment. Here these bananas are appearing healthy. These are the suckers that we planted. These are Yelaki suckers, by the way. And here we had a lot of Kamba and Takapundu. We have just cut them and put them back into the trenches. And I can see already a lot of mulch over the last few months. We've been cutting them and putting them back to the trenches. I'm just waiting for these to get converted into humus. They're already dry. They've already started decomposing. And with Jivamrita and the right carbon nitrogen mix, they should decompose very fast. But we'll keep filling them, like as and when we get these biomass, we'll just cut them and put them back into these trenches. So this is coconut tree, what you see here. This is pomegranate, again looking reasonably healthy. And as far as the menus are concerned, right now we are giving only Jivamrutam. The goal is to give every 2 weeks, but I do have a few challenges in the Jivamrutam drip setup, and even the tanks. Slowly there's some leaks. I can feel these are older tanks from the previous farm that we're using, especially in the connection points. So we need to replace them with unions and have some washers to contain the leak. So I have not done Jivamrutam in the last 3 weeks. We need to fix it. Hopefully this week we will fix them and we can resume the Jivamruta preparation and give it every 2 weeks. This is papaya. Papayas have started growing very well. And here, this is probably lemon. Oh, I am not actually sure. This might be Musambi. This is not lemon, I'm sorry. Lemon trees are usually thorny. Musambi appears similar, but there are no thorns. So this is probably Musambi. This is the subcanopy, subcanopy layer, which is the middle of the 36 by 36. There's also some caterpillars I can see. I think nature has started working. I really like the fact that there are a lot of birds already started coming in. All these bugs. I hope it works as intended and we can create a food forest. Alright, and this is Yelvage. This is a timber tree. You'll probably recollect that we have planted at about 18 feet a variety of timber trees like Yelvage, teak, mahogany, Vengai, Mardu, and then Sissu, Acha. We've just repeated a sequence. I'm not sure what this plant is. Probably Tandrikai. Yeah, I think this is Tandrikai. This is Vengai Maram. This is Maruda Maram. I think this is Ven Maruda if I'm not wrong. White. But Maruda Maram. So yeah, overall, so far so good. Working as expected. Except for these kind of dry plants that still appear scary, but I guess they will survive, hopefully. And we need to wait for these banana suckers to sprout. Overall, most of the trees that we planted survived, except for probably 5 of them, 1 or 2 timber trees, 1 coconut tree, and then maybe the other smaller trees that we purchased. I think the bigger ones have a higher probability of survival, especially with a lot of rains. Ideally they should have gotten taken care of themselves. But maybe like 5-6 trees they did not survive, but for the most part I think we're all good on the main canopy and sub canopy layer. Shrubs, I would say about 70 to 80% have survived. Gliricidia has been not so good as expected. I think the survival rate is probably less than 50%. I can still see a lot of empty spots where we planted. By the time the plants arrived, only we knew that the plants were not looking very healthy. But it's what it is. I think next time we will do seeds. But for now, we're not going to touch any of that. This is mango. So we have about 11 mango trees planted. So this is mango. What you see there is mango. So this is the mango layer. So that full section is with coconut tree as main crop. And here you will have a variety of things like mango, jackfruit, jamun. These all will be the main crops, main canopy layers. And the sub canopy layers you will find big amla, small amla, lemon. And on this side, obviously we can't see them. The kambu is too tall. We do have one avocado, that is butterfruit. And we have planted a variety of guava trees, probably 7 or 8 of them. So as expected, these kambu and takapund is giving the right shade that we wanted these plants to have. And in the wild zone, we do have these flowering trees like Sarakondrai, golden shower, and a few of those trees. Hopefully they will survive the heat. I think the rainy season must have given them the right root structure, and I'm just hoping that eventually they will become larger trees and it will become a wild zone so that we don't have to enter there, which could become the home for reptiles. That way the farm will be free of reptiles. Probably they'll come out for food, but the wild zone should be the home for these snakes. That way they don't disturb others and others don't disturb them. So conceptually, yeah, I think I'm comfortable with the idea of wild zone, but practically we have to see how well it's going to work. All right, those are the latest updates that I had from the farm. Next steps, if it rains, I'll probably do urad dal or maybe horse gram in this field. Right now they are empty, and depending on how much water we have to decide how we're going to take that up, because I just want to prioritize the water availability for the main section here. And then subsequently, I'm also thinking in the new year we should do a good camera setup. I started exploring options. That will be a big investment, probably about 1.5 lakhs minimum, to have a good IP camera installed, set of cameras installed around the farm. We'll talk about that separately. For now, still researching. If required, we may have to do another borewell, although I've not yet decided. That's something in my mind. But bare minimum, what we want to do is to see if we can achieve some sort of automation for the borewell that we have right now. For instance, it runs for about 35-40 minutes, and then we have to give it a break for, let's say, half an hour, and then it can be run again. Although we have a timer, we cannot use the timer because sometimes the timer just forcefully ons the motor every 15 minutes or every 30 minutes, even if water is not there. So we want to get something to monitor the water flow. I think there's a way out. There are some flow-based sensors that is available. I have to explore it. There's a fully automated panel boat available in Hosur. So I want to explore those things next. So that's two. And if there's some budget available, then we'll also try and finish off the infrastructure work. For instance, the interlocking bricks that we had, we never closed those gaps. So that's also something in my mind, but it's not a high priority work that can be done later. So that's all the updates I had. Hopefully we can just utilize the water we have. If it is really becoming bad, we'll have to do the bore well, and then the work on automating the water, and that's it. Those will be the next steps, and that's all the updates I had today. Catch you on a different video later. Bye friends.